Welcome back to more bombshell revelations about the real Material Girl on Madonna Exposed.
10 summers ago, I made my first trip to New York City, my first plane ride, my first cab ride, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know a soul, and I asked the taxi cab driver to drop me off in the middle of everything. So he dropped me off in Times Square. Anyway, I was completely awestruck.
Incredibly, that 1978 cab ride cost half of the 37 crumpled dollars she had in the world. For the first time in her life, Madonna faced homelessness in the ultimate urban jungle. But this was no wide-eyed innocent from the sticks. The 19-year-old college dropout already had an immaculate conception of her own future. Chris Anderson's book records a stranger inviting her to crash at his apartment, her accepting without hesitation and staying 2 weeks. A counter job at a midtown Dunkin' Donuts then earned enough for a 6-week workshop with the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. Flat broke again, she later bragged to friends that she scavenged trash cans, wolfing down the buns from discarded burgers. Then came a night job as a hat check girl at a Manhattan landmark. Its manager recalls her virtually destitute.
She was a frail gal. I thought that perhaps her meals here were about the only ones that she had during the day.
The bare facts of survival in the big city meant stripping to the bones for money. Ultimately, some of those nude pictures would come back to haunt her. One of the artists who hired Madonna recalls her eking out a meager living from modeling. For the very first time on television are the portraits that kept her from starving.
That was her livelihood. That's how she got paid. We always paid her in cash. It was basically $7 an hour in those days. What I remember most about those years is the fact that she was always moving from one place to another, staying with friends, staying with other groups, always sharing living quarters. And so it was hard to keep track of her. She was very cooperative, and she was always willing to do very energetic, very enthusiastic kinds of poses.
Some apparently more enthusiastic than others. In 1985, fans were stunned by a steamy spread from way back then that simultaneously surfaced in dueling center spreads. The sexy layout that really got Madonna upset was from a '79 session with Martin Schreiber. He paid her $30 for 90 minutes.
What was Madonna feeling at the time that she posed for these?
I don't think she was really enjoying doing this, where some models come in, they have a whole presence about them, and they have no qualms. I felt that she was doing it just because she needed the money.
Author Chris Anderson says the photographer wooed the waif, wining her at his loft studio and treating her to expensive candlelit dinners. But she was no one-man woman. Those who knew her recall her nickname was McDonna, an uncharitable reference to the number served. One of her first conquests was a musician. They met at a downtown disco and hit it off at once. Anderson says many men helped her to the top, but it was Dan Gilroy who taught her guitar chords while they shacked up in an abandoned synagogue. Oy vey. Madonna didn't just join Dan's band, she took over as lead singer. Ambition? Artistic difference? Whatever caused the bust-up, Dan's not telling any tales out of shul. Back in Manhattan, Madonna moved into a cockroach-infested fourth-floor walk-up in the grungy East Village. There, she crashed with graffiti artists, watching one become the darling of the art world, the late AIDS victim Keith Haring. Another roomie from way back was dancer Erica Bell, with whom she shared a very special friendship. Amid the challenges of Alphabet City, she told me that for Madonna, survival was as easy as avenues A, B, and C.
How tough was it at the beginning for the two of you?
No furniture, no money. We didn't think of it as tough. I mean, at the time, we didn't think of it as, we're living a tough life, this is so tough. We had a lot of fun. I think she's the type of person that looks adversity in the eyes and thinks, I can beat this if there's a problem. She's a pretty strong woman.
Strong enough to steal the spotlight from a band in a pioneer music video as seen in this rare clip. Cast as a lowly dance extra, Madonna grabbed glory from a bit part. The producer recalls her shamelessly out boogieing the competition.
I do remember talking to her often during the shoot, talking at her because herself and her dance partner, Martin Burgoyne, were dancing very provocatively, constantly in front of the camera. So I kept saying, can you move back, can you move on to the side? Even back then, she was showing a very flamboyant, attention-grabbing attitude.